Some of you are probably looking at this picture and wondering, who the hell is this man that I'm looking at? And trust and believe, he is a piece of shit. I'll put it out there plain and simple. He most definitely is. But this guy's name is Patrick Rose, and he is the ex-Boston Police Union boss. And this guy has pled guilty to multiple child rape charges. And when I say multiple, I do mean multiple that date back a couple of decades. Like, this guy's, I think sick would be an understatement. I think perverted might be an understatement. Diabolical is probably the word that I'm looking for. It may be something worse than that, but I can't think of one at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and read this article that's coming from meall.com. It was posted April 26, 2022. And it's coming from Suffolk County, New York. Patrick Rose, a former head of Boston's police union who raped and sexually abused 6 children, was sentenced up to 13 years in prison after he admitted to the crime. 13 years, up to 13 years, which means it's not necessarily he's going to do 13 years, but up to 13 years, y'all. See, this is what we're talking about. Operation Protect the White Boy. Up to 13 years for his crime. That should have got him at least life in prison. I truly believe anybody who does this kind of violation to children, even if it's one time, should get the maximum penalty of way more than 13 years, of course, because you can't tell me 13 years was the max he could have gotten. The ex-police patrolmen's association boss, age 67, pleaded guilty to 21 counts involving victims between the ages of 7 and 16. 21 counts. Basically, that's 21 kids. Rose committed the crimes over a period of 27 years. So you're talking about his crimes date back to the 90s. Despite being accused of sexual abuse, he was allowed to stay on the job for 2 more decades. Whoever he was working for, they need to be brought to their knees as well. At the time, even an internal investigation found that it was likely he committed the crime, and they still kept him there. Again, Operation Protect the White Boy. Rose was seen crying in court on Monday, April 25th, as some of his victims delivered their statements. "I saw you for what you really are, a coward, a predator." Y'all gotta excuse me, these ads keep popping up on the article, and it keeps making me lose my spot, so forgive me if it feels like I'm pausing in between when I'm reading. "I saw you for what you really are, a coward, a predator of the weak and defenseless," one victim said. Another victim said, "Your reputation absolutely gone. All you will ever be remembered as is another creep who has nothing going for him. Your job as a cop protecting people, well, that's really quite ironic, isn't it?" In a statement in court, Rose apologized for his despicable behavior. "I apologize to my former colleagues," he said. "I apologize to my former friends, but more importantly, the more important thing in my life, I apologize to my family, to those I hurt. I'm so very sorry." Well, it's probably good that he didn't apologize to the victim, who should have got the first apology, considering he has nothing to apologize to them for. And if I were them, I would not accept his piss poor ass apology. Notice now he's apologizing because now he's hemmed up. But he wasn't feeling sorry when he was doing what he was doing for the last 2 plus decades at that. And then got the nerve to sit up there and cry. Y'all probably see the picture in the thumbnail. Rose served as union president from 2014 until his retirement in 2018. He was arrested in August 2020 after being accused of sexually assaulting a relative for 5 years, beginning from when the child was 7 years old. 5 of the victims later accused him of abuse. However, Rose initially pleaded not guilty and denied the charges. According to documents that were released last year, a 1996 internal police department probe revealed that top officials believe Rose likely abused the child, but he continued to patrol in Dorchester. On April 25th, District Attorney Kevin Hayden said he had hoped that the guilty plea provided some level of healing and recovery for the victims. Excuse me? You hope that him pleading guilty offered some kind of peace of mind to the victims who had to be traumatized by what this animal did for years? That's weak. And like I said, he didn't even apologize to the victims. He apologized to everyone but them. And I said, it's probably, like I said, it's probably a good thing that he didn't, because he had nothing. He has nothing. His apology means nothing. Anyone who was in that courtroom today knows the tremendous courage, fortitude, and bravery that the withstood throughout this entire horrible incident. These are monstrous acts, Hayden said in a statement. Pointing out Rose's violation of children's trust, prosecutor Audrey Mark said, he had these children trust from the beginning. He didn't need to gain it. By virtue of his position, he had their trust, and he violated their trust over and over. He violated their bodies, and these children and these adult survivors will live with that trauma for the rest of their lives. And that's the whole article right there. Listen, 13 years is nowhere near enough of what he should be receiving. And let me rephrase that. He's getting up to 13 years, which means he may not even do 13 years. And what did he have to do to get that? Just plead guilty. That's why that guilty plea is a huge, well, it's a lot of loopholes when it comes to that. You take that plea deal and they give you a slap on the wrist. Well, if you look like him, and I'm not saying look like him in the physical appearance, I'm talking about in skin tone and how you choose to identify. This guy has over 2 decades and damn near 3 decades worth of violation of minors. One of them including a relative. And he's allowed to only get up to 13 years behind bars. Give me a break. Like I said, Operation Protect the White Boy, or Operation Save the White Boy. I forgot which one it is. But y'all know what I mean, the little terminology, the little phrase that I came up with. This is some bullshit. And then had the nerve to sit up there and cry. As a matter of fact, let me pause it right quick so you can see. Look at this. Up there crying with his hands covering his face. Like what is your tears going to do? You weren't feeling like this when you was doing what you were doing. Why start now? Because you're going to jail? And so the thing is, he probably scared to go to jail because who knows? He might meet some people in there that he put behind bars, and they probably gonna be happy to see him when he walks through them doors. I hope they put his ass in gym pop, but knowing them, he might end up in protective custody. Knowing them. Well, maybe it'll be a guard in there that doesn't take any type of pity on him and kind of like, leaves the door unlocked on accident. Wink, wink. But yeah, this is my take on it.